Hello. Welcome to another Wednesday here on FTB Sports Through the Table. I am Britt Smill. Today, we will be discussing what we saw out of the AFC North. Surprises, disappointments, but we're going to bring it all to you right now. Thank you for joining us again. Wednesday, March 30th already. Man, time's flying by. We're getting closer and closer to the NFL season, and it's coming so close because the NFL never stops moving. Well, before we talk about all this moving stuff, we still got a few divisions to wrap up. So, going to bring in my co-host right now, Donnie Shoemaker.
How you doing, Britt?
How we doing, buddy?
Good, man. Like you said, dude, it's already the 30th.
Dude.
30th, man. Shoot, dude. 4 months was already gone. We're finally getting the spring down here. The mountain laurels are blooming, so that's the first, part of spring. It's seeing those mountain laurels. So,
Yep.
shoot, man. Should start getting into the swing of things here.
Well, that and tax season too, because you're like, oh, holy crap, taxes! Like a quarter of the year, it's already blown by. I got to do my taxes now.
I actually did my taxes yesterday.
Well, you know what I mean. Though.
Yeah,
the due day, what day? April 15th. That's all I'm talking about.
Yeah. I thought it was comical that you said that because I did it yesterday.
Oh yeah.
That time I was like, all right, dude, just you got to.
Now you can be like, I already got my done.
Shoot,
like you've had it done.
Yeah, I mean, they already have the information. You just type it in.
Dude, I don't even know why we have to fill anything out. They already know if we owe them money or not. Either send me a bill or send me a check.
I just think it's for
you have all the
both parties. Like they want you to know that they
know that. Yeah.
That you know how much you got too, so it's for both parties' sakes that they send you the information.
I get it, like having
breathing down your throat too much,
right? Yeah. You have your own receipt.
I mean, most people get money back, so you really think they want to be cutting all those checks? No, so
yeah, no, they're gonna make you work for the money, even though
you already did work for the money.
Yeah, but anyway, we're not here to talk about political stuff.
Taxes are important.
Stuff.
They are important. They are important.
They are.
But anyway, that's enough of that.
The government's listening in. Taxes.
No, I don't say that because of that.
No, I know, bud. I know. All right, we are here to discuss what we saw from the AFC North. Now, this was a division coming into the year. I was like, this is going to be a division to watch. I mean, we're talking possibility of 3 teams from this division going into the playoffs, like without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
The way things turned out through the year, through injuries, some teams will discuss lack of caring and apparently big issues inside that organization.
Yeah.
And I think the issues have gotten bigger. The
just open the rabbit hole.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, sure.
But let's start off with, I guess, the good, and that of course was.
We're gonna do them first. Okay, that's fine.
Was your AFC champions, the Cincinnati Bengals? This was a team I thought would be in the mix, win the division.
I didn't think they were going to be as good, but they really brought it. They really came on there.
Yeah, I was like, okay, from what they did last year, I expected to see an improvement.
Yeah.
And while they did, I thought they played really, really well. 10-7.
Definitely.
They did well in their conference, 8-4 in the conference, and that's what. Did they have some help in their March? You can say that, but they won 10 games, man.
I
Like,
don't think. I mean, as far as their division, I think they pretty much showed who's the leader in that division. I mean,
yeah.
I know that they were coming on strong. They added, people were kind of skeptical of Chase, but I mean, he's definitely shown his haters that
Ooh,
he's someone to be reckoned with.
he's a talent, isn't he?
I do, yeah, and was it Boyd's his counter,
Yeah,
but
Boyd is
he's
come
yeah,
on because we saw him in
he's got experience, is what he
oh
has.
yeah, he was there behind Green, sharing the wide receiver spotlight with
Yeah,
Green for a little while.
definitely.
So Boyd's been there.
No,
It's
he
nice.
has.
It's nice to see him get a little bit of
I mean,
focus,
he
but
outlasted Green, so
yeah, but here comes in a rookie wide receiver to take the spotlight. You thought that was going to be yours, but
I don't
oh,
think
he
he
is
ever thought
good
it
though.
was going to be his. I just think that
But not usurped by a rookie.
I mean, yeah, he. I mean, probably not. He probably wasn't too concerned about it. I mean, they do have game tape on this guy from college going off, so I mean, it's not hard to see that he does have a talent.
And they told us it coming into this season. You heard it from Bengal fans. Hey,
Yeah,
watch this guy.
yeah,
This guy is good.
definitely.
And
Yeah.
wow, he was really good. I thought Burrow turned the corner. I
Really
thought
stepped it up
he
for a cat.
improved
Yeah,
and
which was
he
nice to
worked
see because you almost thought his career was going to be over after that injury last year. But I mean, he
right.
really
Yeah,
bounced back and became the quarterback, or he was, I guess, that quarterback people thought, but he didn't have the opportunity like he did this year.
right. Because we've been playing fantasy football for a while, right? So the
Oh,
whole thing was
this will be the
don't
year
trust
11
the
thing.
Bengals. Don't trust the Bengals because once you believe in them,
Yeah.
they F you, man. They
I wish it
do.
wasn't so, but yes, that is what it does feel to be like.
But this ain't them Bengals, man.
No, I think
It's not.
they seem to put all the pieces together right at the right moment. They got rid of Dalton, which I don't think they ever really could have gotten too far with Dalton. I mean, he had that one year where he almost got there, but then he hurt his hand, and that was that. I think his talent level is if you put a good enough team around him, maybe he'll be able to pull it off.
But you still have question marks about him.
But they stuck with him for quite a bit of time, way longer than I thought. Maybe that was all part of the plan is they were building a team and then they were
Well,
going to find a quarterback that they could pick up.
the
Because
thing is
Mixon
with
played with
Dalton,
Dalton, right? Didn't
yeah,
he? Yeah,
mhm,
and Mixon was really coming on too. And so like
I've liked Mixon.
this is by far has been his best year. You
Yes.
know,
Because the thing with Dalton was like not good enough, but who else you gonna go get?
I think they could have.
Where you wouldn't have had to given up
Yeah, I
the
think that's what they were trying
farm.
to do. Though, is like they didn't want to give up that they were trying to build another team
Right.
because
And they're like, we could do this with Dalton. Because I
you
thought
stick
they
with a
thought
guy
they
for what,
could.
almost a decade, like pretty close to a decade, if not more. You're obviously building a team, and you're just comfortable. I'm not saying kicking the can down the road because they were trying to win it. They were, but like you get to a certain point and you're looking at yourself like this guy obviously, unfortunately, isn't going to be able to do it.
Yeah, but how
And
many careers were sacrificed though?
uh,
Because it took you 10 years. That's not building for. That's like this is our guy. He's
uh,
gonna
I mean, maybe, yeah,
do
I
it.
get that. I do understand that point. I just feel like you're right. There was a lot of careers wasted. Um, but I mean, to say wasted though is
Yeah,
like,
that's hard.
they weren't really wasted because it's not like they weren't trying to win.
But they could have had better careers with
But yeah, but if they really balled out, then somebody would have paid them too at the same time.
true. And like you said, they kept on re-signing.
Yeah, I mean, you
So
can
is
say
it
no.
really anybody's fault
Yeah,
but their own because they re-signed?
but it is very cool that they all came on right at the same time. I think they had all those guys went over 1,000 yards this season.
Yeah.
Um,
And like, I mean, I'm not trying to whatever at 10-7 because that is the worst division winner record.
what
But
the Bengals?
yeah,
Yeah, but they
but
really
it's one
stepped it
game
up,
behind
man.
my Bills.
I know. So it's
And
like,
but our seasons were two different seasons.
you're right. I mean, I think you're in a harder division, truthfully. So I
Well,
mean,
not what we thought coming into the season.
I'm
No,
not hating on the G's, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, shoot, they made the distance, you know.
right? Yeah, no, they did,
So
and I expect them to.
I feel like they got a solid team. I really don't think there's too much they could do other than grab another wide receiver because eventually Boyd will retire. You know, I mean, he isn't like the youngest cat on the block, but I mean,
True by now, right?
he's got this the skill or the know-how experience, I guess would be the correct word, that if you brought somebody in, that he's a good mentor.
Yeah, because like
You
how
know,
many years did he run routes with AJ Green? He
yeah,
had to have picked up
he knows the
something and
system
learn
like the back of his
exactly.
hand. You know, I don't know how many people are left in free agent. Well, I didn't really check before we started, but I can
The
tell you
way
that
things have been going, it can't be very
can't
many
be too much.
left.
At least anybody worth grabbing that could really
Well,
boost that
Bobby
team.
Wagner's still out there, but
I did see that.
that's the other side of the ball.
I
That's the
did
other
see
side of the
that.
ball.
Yeah, I know, but I thought that was a little crazy still. I don't know if is he asking for too much or he just can't
I
find a
think
place
he's
to
in
fall.
discussions with somebody.
I knew like 2 days ago I still saw Odell Beckham was still a free agent. It was like 2 or 3 days ago is what I saw.
This is what I'm saying. He's quiet. Bobby Wagner's quiet.
Like, are they just waiting
Yeah,
to like for them to get re-signed?
that's what I
It
think.
almost feels like
I
that.
think they're waiting for the Rams to do some restructuring, and then you'll
But
see Bobby
yeah,
Wagner sign with the Rams, and you'll see Odell Beckham sign with the Rams.
I mean, I didn't think this
But they have
contract.
restructuring to do. Will
Yeah,
they get it done in time? Because I mean, it is a clock. Like eventually, Bobby Wagner and Odell Beckham is going to have
yeah.
to sign with somebody.
Like honestly, I think if ODB was to be picked up by Cincinnati, that would. I mean, and
Oh,
the problem is
that
that would be a crazy team, but you need a slot receiver, really, and those guys are both long distance receivers. I'm not saying they can't play midfield, but or off the line, but most of their points are scored downfield. You know,
right
so
with
I mean, yeah, it's cool seeing like superstars get together, right? You always think like this is going to be
yeah
awesome, but sometimes it
under
doesn't
a
play
young
out like that.
coach.
Yeah.
You
The
know,
truth is, I think they will get re-signed. Why not? Why not give it another year of your life? I mean, I know a year seems like a long time, but I mean, you just won the Super Bowl with these guys. Why wouldn't you try for a back-to-back? I mean, makes no sense.
yeah, and they didn't re-sign.
And these are first round like free agent pickups. Like
Why
these
can't I
guys
think of
should
his
still be
name?
on the
Who
free
LA
agent.
signed from Denver? Von Miller.
Yeah.
He didn't re-sign with them, so that makes me think they're working a deal with Bobby Wagner.
Well, Von Miller's probably on his way out, right? I mean,
Bobby Wagner's not too far off
I know.
the pace as Von Miller is.
I just like
I'd almost rather have a Bobby Wagner than a Von Miller.
And I know it's like at this point, people say, "What do you have to prove? Why don't you just stop?" But the truth is, you're a competitor, so you're gonna play as long as you
And
can,
this is what you've
physically
done your
can.
whole life. These guys are how old? They've been doing this.
You know,
Let's just say since high school. But odds are they were definitely playing football before
their
high
whole
school.
lives. I mean, you did you not see too
And
many
then one
freshman
day,
athletes that weren't playing since they
yeah,
were kids?
yeah. And then one day you just don't go play sports anymore.
Yeah, it's definitely weird. You know,
It would have to be.
you want to stop early enough where you don't like fade out in front of everybody, but at the same time, you want to keep playing just because. I mean, what does Von Miller? I know I just said that, but like, just going back to that, what does he have to prove? The dude's multiple Super Bowl rings, multiple MVPs. Like, I mean,
Unless
it's
he has question marks
you
over
know,
his Hall of Fame
I don't think so. I don't. I
chances.
mean, what he's maybe not first round, but I even say that with a hint of skepticism. Like, the dude is like one of the
He's
top names.
probably a first ballot Hall of Famer.
You know, it definitely at least second. I mean, I don't see him falling any farther than that.
Yeah, there's no way one day Von Miller won't be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
I
been
mean,
what every time there's a sports show talking about defense, Von Miller has been talked about the entire time he's been in the league. Him and Aaron Donald, man.
yeah.
Like these are for sure Hall of Famers.
Well, Von Miller did kind of fade into the background there for a couple years. And
He
then,
had that injury, didn't he? Or
that
am
I
I
can tell
mistaken, or
you.
am I just making an excuse
I
for
just
him?
thought he kind of was getting older, and then all of a sudden, I think that's why they got him for super cheap, which $1 million really isn't cheap, but in football terms,
Right.
that's
It
pretty cheap,
is. It's very, very cheap.
you know.
And he balled out
And he
too.
balled out. He was like, "This is my last chance. This may be my last chance to make it to the big show," and he did it, and they won, and
Right.
great for him, man. Like that's awesome. But if he would have walked off the field and that was his last game, I mean, I think that would,
I'd smile on my career looking back at it.
what else? Like,
No
come on,
regrets,
man.
dude.
You probably thought that you were just going to fade on some, like at that point before he got picked up by the Rams, you might have just faded away on some
Yeah,
like
he was on
team that wasn't very good.
Peyton Manning's Swan Song season.
Yeah, he
He was
was.
on that team. So like
He was that team. That's the whole reason they won that year. Was
like
him.
what more? Like
And
he's
he had
definitely
the
not
MVP,
staying
right?
to
That
prove
year,
anything.
the Super
I
Bowl
think he
MVP.
did. I think he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, Von Miller's had a great career, played with some all-time great players. There's no way he has a single regret.
And he's out, like he's lasted multiple generations of players,
Yeah,
man.
it
Like
can't be for money, and it's like, hey, if you're gonna pay me, I'll still
the
play.
dude has enough money, dude. Like
And
it's not money
yes,
he's playing for.
no,
Money's nice,
exactly
but
right.
I doubt it's money. You know,
No, but if like
he probably puts more
if it
money into
was
his
no,
body
I'm just
for one
saying if
season than he's going to get paid for that
he's
season.
not gonna play for free.
Oh no, who's going to play
So
for
it's
free?
like it was the whole Brett Favre thing. You should retire. Hey, there's people that are still gonna pay me.
I mean,
Why
Andy
not earn
Dalton's
some?
still a backup
Why not earn
quarterback,
some?
man.
Oh, you saw that too. I mean, he's going to be a backup,
Yeah.
which is what he is anyway. A
I
really,
guess.
really good backup,
Yeah.
but not
I
good
know that's what
enough.
happens, but dang, that's gotta suck, right? But as far as the Bengals are concerned, I really don't see them having to do too much restructuring, if at all. I think they just kind of pick up the players that they think they're weak at, which really you saw their defense was pretty stout this year. Offense was, of course, on fire. I'd try to pick up that number 2 wide receiver. If you can strengthen your pocket players, of course, do that.
Anytime you can strengthen the pocket, you can, and I think that should be a big focus because
Yeah.
you can't get hit 7, 9 times. Well, he got
Yeah.
hit more than he was sacked, so he just got
Yeah.
sacked 7 or 9 times.
A fair amount. I
So how
mean,
many times did he get hit?
for getting the
He
injury
had to have got hit
harassment,
like 15 times.
definitely, and it's because they're a fast-paced offense, so of course you're gonna leave yourself more exposed.
Right.
It's just because your guys are gonna get worn out over time, so they're gonna get tired, and so I'd say that would be my guess.
That would
If
be
I
my
would,
focus. I mean,
you
of course, I'm a Bills fan, so I'm not too heavily delved into what I think they should or should not do. Just make general observations from the outside. So,
Yeah.
Bengals fans out there, you want to comment, tell us what you think y'all need, what you thought about your season, how happy you are. Like, finally, you got rid of that monkey off your back. Like, oh, it's the
Yeah.
Bengals. Just wait. Hold on. It's the Bengals. I ain't putting my
Well, that was
money
like a
on
30-year
them.
stretch, man, of like
This ain't
nothing,
them
and all
Bengals
of a
no
sudden
more.
they're AFC champions. So that's got to feel great. Even though, they would have liked the win, but you still got to feel like on fire about your team.
Yeah,
Right?
because
Not
they
worried
put
about it.
together good teams and good seasons, and just
And they're
like the
young. They're a
Cowboys,
young
just like the
team.
Cowboys, and in the playoffs, nothing.
Yeah.
But this ain't them
No,
Bengals.
this is better than
This is
the Cowboys.
not them Bengals, man. These are different
Yeah.
Bengals. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, and
No, I was just
I
gonna
mean
say,
positive going forward, right?
oh yeah,
Like,
because like I just was saying, they're young cats, man. So like they have years.
yeah. I mean, I still like, and I don't want to feel like I'm
this together.
disrespecting them. And I know this isn't a preview for 2020, but I'll expect I think Cincinnati, they'll probably win 10 games again next year, but I do not expect them to win the division.
Who do
And
you
I
think's
don't,
going to
I
take the
don't,
division?
uh,
Don't say the Ravens, or I'm going to have to leave. So we're going to move on because I know that's what you were going to say.
because Pittsburgh's looking less and less likely. Its free agency is moving along.
Yeah, I know.
Because Juju's gone, so
No, they lost a lot of players, man. They're a total rebuild.
yeah, so I can't say Pittsburgh.
What is it? Mason Crosby's throwing the ball? Is that who they brought back up? Or is
Oh
it
man,
Pittsburgh? Let's see which one. We're talking about Pittsburgh now, right? You guys changed your icon.
well, that's yes. They went 9-7-1.
Which, and that was cool seeing Big Ben go out there like that last time, you know? Yeah, I
Right.
wish they could have gone the distance because, you know, I like feel good stories just as much as anybody. But, dude, he gave him his all for a long time, got him 3 Super Bowls. I mean, you can't say enough about the guy.
Oh,
So it's just unfortunate that now that the Steelers are back in that spot, basically, it's like all these elite teams are going through that. It happened with New England. It's going to happen with Pittsburgh. I mean, they were on top teams. Green Bay's going to fade away once Aaron's gone. So, you know, these were on top teams for many decade plus. And now they're going to have to really sit down and rebuild.
yeah, because Pittsburgh coming into the year, man, I thought they were winning the division, and I stuck with them till the bitter end. Till the end, I thought Pittsburgh would somehow pull it off. They did. The
They
bummer,
came back like every game, right?
Yeah, they were good at home.
Yeah.
It's just that problem, and they were good in their division. They were 4-2 in their division. They were 6-2-1 at home. Now the problem is that one.
Yeah.
Like
that's all it came down to.
If you get into a tie game, it's got to be on the road, man. You cannot have a tie ball game in your stadium because that's such a bummer.
Yeah.
Well,
things were falling off the rails there, man, at the end. And that's just because
things got bad for Pittsburgh.
You know, you could really see Ben had a hiccup there. And, you know, it comes with age, man. You've been hitting. I mean, that dude would take so many tackles. 3 dudes would be on him. He'd still be throwing the ball. Like, you know what I'm saying? He took a beating in his career, and it really affected him, I think, this last year.
Yeah, they had problems scoring. I mean, they had a huge problem scoring points.
Especially in the first half, man. It seemed like they could not move that ball the first half of pretty much every game. And then they'd, like, come back in the second half, but it was just not enough, unfortunately. I mean, they'd get right there. I mean, within a point or two. And it didn't happen. You know, because like 2 years ago, you know, when he came back from that injury, you know, he was looking like one of like the best he had been in years, you know. And coming into this year, I think when he got COVID, I think that really did a little bit more to him than he wanted to admit because he came back after his COVID protocol and he wasn't the same.
Right. And I mean, had to. I mean, you can't.
Of course, man. I mean, it's just, unfortunately, that's just something we have to deal with now. And I mean,
and now they have to. I mean, he had to come back right away because they can't be running out of backup quarterback.
I think they pushed him a little bit. He was only gone like a week. You know, just one Sunday that he missed, and he was back.
It was like right when you're allowed to be back, boom.
Yeah,
he got.
Technically, your body's not even fully healed by then.
You heard Aaron talk about it.
Yeah, and he's in better shape. So you know, I mean,
right. But man, I had high hopes for Pittsburgh coming in this year. I was excited to see Najee Harris.
Yeah, he killed it this year, though.
He still did a phenomenal job running the ball, but again, man, that offense they couldn't score points, man.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that they have to fix, and everything that's happened in the offseason.
It's going to be hard.
They're going to score less points next year.
Yeah.
So
Claypool's kind of too flashy for me. I think he hasn't. I thought he was going to settle down, but I think he's kind of a showboat, and that's not the kind of team the Steelers are.
Yeah, and that's the bummer. Because
he's their number one now, right?
They have to make a quick decision on Claypool.
Well, he's their number one right now, I guess.
Look, AB could get away with this crap because of how good he was.
Not really. I
Claypool
mean,
isn't
they pretty
as
much
good
said,
as
"All
AB.
right, deuce out, AB." Like right when he started really acting a fool.
Oh, he's been acting a fool for years,
Yeah, you're right about
man.
that. You're right.
Years, and they kept with him, and rightfully so. It's freaking AB. But
Yeah,
Claypool ain't AB.
you're right about that.
He's gotta
He's
he's
good, but yeah,
gonna
like you said, he ain't that good. But now with all these players that they lost, I don't know if they can afford to let him go.
dude. I know they
Yeah,
quarterback. I mean, at least they don't have to worry about running back. They obviously have to run in, protect that pocket, do something because they need something going on that line because they're not scoring points.
yeah,
And they have skill players with talent.
yeah.
So, I mean, is it better game plan now? That do they need a better game planning, or is this Tomlin's fault? Is he past it? They need to move on from Tomlin.
It's hard because he's never had a losing season. So like, but at the same time, is he going to have enough patience really to rebuild this team? I mean, because he's definitely not winning this year or the next foreseeable future. And if he doesn't make it to the playoffs, how is he going to feel like that? Would he rather step back now and have a
Oh
perfect
yeah, especially since
record?
we have an extra wild card spot.
You
Like
know,
you,
I don't know. The thing is, I think he will give it a try, but you're going to have to really step up your pocket players. Your front line needs to be improved this year because you don't have Big Ben taking those hits and being able to still move. You got a backup quarterback that was a starter 4 or 5 years ago is now at the helm. I mean, there was a
mhm.
reason he got benched, and you're pulling him out of basically, the backups. And so that's what I would do: fix the line. I mean,
Little bit of help on defense. They didn't do too bad on defense for as little help as they got from the offense.
yeah, you're right about that.
So like I feel the defensive stats might be a little bit inflated, but you can't ignore it. It
Yeah.
is what it is. They just need the offense needs to hold on to the ball a little bit more. They need to put points on the board because, like you said, like even Mike Tomlin, man, like this is Pittsburgh Steelers, man. Like, this won't be acceptable. It don't matter if you haven't had a losing season. That's not what Pittsburgh fan wants. They just
No.
don't want to have a over 500 season. They
Yeah.
want to be in the playoffs and be in contention for it.
No, definitely.
So we'll see. I mean, that Tomlin does have work to do, but I'm sure he loves it because the job ain't boring, man.
It's not. You did have some safety. You had a repertoire with Big Ben and him. But like you said, I like that point about the defense. Maybe you do structure your picks on like defense and the front line, and you stay away from those skill players this year. Try to strengthen up your team, and then maybe try to pick up some guys in free agents or during trades. I mean, you could always trade bait and pick somebody really good and then
Right,
trade them.
yeah.
You could do
Because you
that.
have to, even when the season starts, like we're saying, it's not like, boom, that's your roster for the whole year. You
Yeah,
still have a bit of free agency and trade time. You can make
yeah,
roster adjustments as these guys aren't um, cutting it for you. But yeah, I think, like you're saying, you got to first do the pocket. And then, even though the defense wasn't horrible, they had a lot of pressure on them. They were out on the field a lot.
yeah. They were. They really
Depth,
were.
maybe not going out replacing people, starters or whatnot, but just quality depth. Get rotation. If your defense, and you know your defense is going to be on the field as much as they are, and losing Ben, bringing in a new quarterback, you know your defense is going to be on the field more
A lot.
than they really should
Yeah,
or more than they're accustomed to. So you've got to get depth on that defense so you can rotate your defensive linemen so you can get pressure because what we've seen in the NFL, if you want to succeed on defense, the more pressure those four rushing. I know some still play a 3-4, so I don't want to say the front four. and they bring one of the linebackers in
Yeah.
every time, and that's why some people like the 3-4 because you get each play, you have no idea which one of them linebackers is coming, and it's not even a blitz. They're
I'm
still
sorry, my
bring.
boss is calling me right now. I have
Oh,
to answer this.
go
Just if you give
go
me one
ahead.
second.
You got it. So um, it's not really a blitz package protection that they're going to be throwing out there. But still, most do the 4-3. So the more pressure that you can give with those front four, you look at teams. Well, once again, they're the Super Bowl champ. So there's going to be a lot said about the Rams on this show right now because right now they are what you're reaching to be. Their front four that was really, really good. They didn't have to blitz. Like they didn't have to bring that fifth guy. If they wanted Von Miller or Aaron Donald to get a sack, they brought in that fifth guy because if they don't bring in that fifth guy, Aaron Donald or Von Miller would have been double teamed. So they have to bring in that fifth guy so Aaron Donald and Von Miller can get some stats.
Dude, that
but
was
that,
that was a defense to be reckoned with, man.
and
This
a
year.
lot of the time, I don't know how much of that you heard, but a lot of the time they were just bringing four.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
every once in a while,
you got those kind of
yeah,
caliber guys. Like, yeah, man. It's,
and and then every once in a while, bring Jalen Ramsey off the
yeah.
corner on a blitz. He is deadly blitz.
No.
Here we go. We hit a half hour. Let me we have a couple saying hi.
What's good, man?
Napoon, he jumps in every now and then when he can, when his schedule fits. He jumps in and he says hi, big up. Always appreciate the support, man. You are one of the good ones. But yeah, man, that defensive line, if they can do, because I think
Yeah.
really if they do that, just focus on that on defense, and then rotation in the other areas. Like I don't think they need to go crazy, like you said already, with
Yeah.
skill positions.
They don't have
When
that many picks.
right when
So
the issue is not the skill players ain't going to change anything.
nah, it would be a waste. It would honestly, I feel like it'd be wasting them.
Exactly. You need a core build. You need to do stuff for the core, and that's in the trenches and a little rotation on defense because, like we pointed out, we already know they're going to be on the field more than they should
Oh
be.
yeah.
So if they can get ahead of it, get some rotation in, but we'll see what they do. Um, let's move on to a team that was so exciting last year,
They
and we
really
were
were. I don't know
we
what
were
happened.
all looking forward
They
to
had the best running tandem in the whole league.
right.
Yeah, I could play both of them at once.
Yeah, I know. But here it's the Cleveland Browns. They went 8-9, very good at home, 6-3 at home. On the road, they were a blitzable 2-6 on the
They
road.
sucked, man.
Dude,
I
like
was really rooting for him this year, man. Because Chubb's one of my favorite running backs, and dude,
yeah,
after he got hurt early in the year, I don't know if he came back too fast because they were really struggling. I think
oh,
it was.
he's an exciting running back. I'm a
Yeah.
fan of Mr. Nick Chubb.
So they have a lot of work to do. I think they was the problem Baker Mayfield. I don't know.
We might find out.
We might. I
I
mean,
don't know what all the chirping. I don't
is
want to
he
get too
still on the
much into it.
team?
Yeah, as far as I know, he
Technically, I think
is.
right.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
think he's
just
just
feel like if
running
you're
his mouth.
paid, yeah.
He's doing an Aaron Rodgers. It feels like.
But he's not good enough to run his mouth like that. You know, you ever been in the league a decade plus?
Yeah.
You know,
At least Aaron Rodgers has a Super Bowl.
yeah, one. And everybody
One.
acts like he's like a godsend at football. But anyway,
He has 80 MVPs though.
Yeah, I don't care.
I don't know how he got 80, but
Yeah.
he has 80.
I don't really. I think this year's was total BS, but for real, they were
It
way better
was.
players.
So it's Coach of the Year, but we'll discuss that when we
Yeah.
talk about the AFC
I
South.
feel like I hate shit talking about these guys, but it's just like, dude, come on, man.
Yeah, I'm not meaning to
But,
shit talk, but
dude,
you weren't, man.
you weren't
You
the
weren't.
best. I mean,
Like,
I still think Cooper Kupp should have won, but even if he didn't win, there's no reason Aaron Rodgers should have got it.
well, if it wasn't Cooper Cup, then I don't think you give out the award
I mean,
because it's going to the best quarterback after Cup.
it goes to the best quarterback every year.
Yeah, which the
So just call it the best, whatever you need to call it, top quarterback of the year,
Yeah.
like something. Don't call it the most
Stop.
valuable player because there's no other player but a QB.
But
Shoot,
people
man.
do, but a lot of people do say the most important position on the field is the quarterback.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, I guess so. I don't know how I feel about
But
that.
giving them the MVP every year is taking that too far.
Definitely.
Because, like this year, I know we've been on it before and we're putting more time to it, but nobody in the NFL had a better year doing what they do than Cooper Cup.
I know. The only record he didn't really break was that most yards in a season, which I don't know how I'd feel about that because technically he did have one more game. But he was almost there. He was within 80 yards of it. And dude, and it's not taking anything away from it because 2,000 yards is a fair amount of yards for a season.
Yeah, it is.
It's a fair amount. It's an outstanding amount of yards,
and that's including playoffs. He did it.
Yeah,
which that has never been done either.
Okay, but yeah, he balled out,
dude. He
balled out.
He's such a good route runner.
Oh yeah,
and
really puts in the effort.
Matty just got there, and it looks like he trusts him with his life.
Yeah,
like, cause that no look told you everything you need to know. In the Super Bowl, you have the audacity. But that's the only way he's looking off that safety.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't stay looking that way, that ball will get picked off.
Or at least blocked.
Because, at least. He almost blocked it anyway.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, crap.
You got to trust your – I think Matt has a history of trusting his receivers, and if you can trust him, he'll throw the ball.
He has a history of trusting his organization. It goes further than that. His trust.
I think he wasn't happy the last couple of years in Detroit.
But he still always showed his appreciation for the opportunity. And if they offered him a contract to continue his services with them, he always obliged.
Yeah. Well, they were trying to build a team. Maybe they really were trying to build a team around him there for a second. But none of it really happened picked up.
Name a running back before Swift.
That's the one I was going to name.
But he's still there.
Yeah.
He
didn't have a running back the whole time.
Megatron.
And then you had Marvin Jones. They were both real good.
Yeah. He did have Tate.
He did. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And that cat was good.
I remember our boy Cody always having him.
Always picked him up. Like, yeah, dude.
Why, dude? Why?
He'd always score those.
He would, man.
You weren't be worried about him, and then that was the week he went off for like 22 points or something like that.
Right?
Yeah, dang it.
Oh my gosh, man. But no, I had high hopes for this Cleveland Brown. I thought they would compete, but it just seems like there was a lot of turmoil in it. I don't know if what's going on right now is Baker acting out to make it look like it wasn't his fault the whole time, that it's upper management, not him.
I thought they were a run-heavy team, so that's why I find it real hard to believe, unless he was just being a drama queen.
That's kind of what I.
They were a run-heavy team 2 years ago when they made it to the playoffs. And they were doing it fairly, if not incredibly well. I mean, they were moving the ball down the field, and then this year, I don't know if they were trying to move away from that, but they had less.
And get Baker more.
Yeah.
Let Baker do
But they
more.
got rid of Odell, so they didn't have any. I mean, yeah, he was there at the beginning.
And we all blame
But honestly,
Mayfield for
yeah.
Odell not being there. And
Well,
I believe Odell said as much, or was that implied?
He never directly said it. He was a gentleman about it. He just said that it was just a difference of opinions, and that he thanked him for their, just going on Mr. Smeal. Thanked him for their opportunity, and he moved on. And honestly, that saved his career, in my opinion, because they were not.
Because it didn't make him look like the diva.
No, I mean he
because then he
was on a
doesn't.
run-heavy team, and they never threw him the ball.
He was the most targeted player on the team, and he was crying about wanting the ball more.
No, the first year he wasn't. Maybe this year he was, but 2 years ago when they were
I'm talking about this year.
Yeah,
when he was crying, which it made it seem like he was just whining. But like you said, he did.
Wide receivers are divas, bro.
No, but he did straighten up because if he does, no, right. But if he doesn't straighten up, he doesn't get this gig in LA.
Yeah,
like he doesn't. LA would have looked somewhere else.
Maybe they just
maybe not because Woods got hurt, and I think Woods getting hurt.
Woods is what happened. They would have just stuck with Woods if he didn't get hurt, and they needed somebody of his caliber to come back. That's why, like when we were talking about after they won the Super Bowl, one of them was going to leave, and Woods got re-signed, right? Or I guess his contract wasn't up yet, but
yeah, Woods was going to be easier all the time than Odell
to keep as far as cap wise, or just
right. The working out the contract. Woods is easy. That's talk to the agent. Hey, sign a effing piece of paper. Let's go.
I think Woods is good.
No, right, but he doesn't have the cachet that Odell and Odell Beckham's
less Instagram followers.
Exactly. So Odell has a lot more Twitter and Instagram followers.
He's more in the media's eye.
His contract is a lot more difficult to work.
Which is kind of smart for a player on the player's part, right? Like, even if you're not as good as other guys, like, put your brand out there, and then you're going to be worth more.
Yeah,
it's just that status quo check mark that a team can have that you're on their team.
Yeah, because if you're likable and they're thinking about you, that might give you the edge.
Yeah, which he isn't a bad guy.
No.
He's really not.
No.
But, but now, just like back to the Browns, now they have nobody to throw it to. Not that I'm hating on Landry, because he's got the best hands in the league in my
opinion. I've been hating on Landry since Miami, man.
He just
everybody.
He has the least drops in the league, bro.
He probably also has the least yardage. His longest touchdown catch was a 3-yard
I will give you that. They don't. He isn't somebody who's making it downfield. He will catch the ball, but the yards after catch are not that high.
He will. He ain't running very far to catch said ball, but he will catch the ball.
Yeah. No, so you need a downfield threat. Landry will be there for a couple more years. I don't see him going
They could probably address that in the draft.
So,
I mean, free agency might be an issue on attracting those key positions, so they might be forced to pay more.
Mess themselves up with that whole free agency deal. With are we going to get into
that? Oh man, I don't.
I think that was a risky move on their part. That's.
Yeah.
But that's telling you to try and replace Baker Mayfield.
Okay, if we want to go into this, I'll go into this real quick, and I will have to say what I have to say about this right now. The NFL, the owners, they are a sham. They are making a mockery out of everything. Because the way they structured this man's contract, he gets suspended for a whole year.
For a
or
whole year.
whatever,
Talking about Deshaun Watson.
and
Racist to clear everybody in.
loses game check monies, it's not that
Yeah.
much because the way they did his contract, he's making a little over $1 million
Well, that's the
this
only way they
upcoming
could
year.
attract him.
They're protecting him. They're protecting him from any suspension. Okay, here's the thing.
I think they're protecting their own interests and trying to get somebody that potentially he is good.
No, here's what I'm saying now. Okay, the Cleveland Browns and their ownership is protecting Deshaun Watson. The NFL would then possibly punish Deshaun Watson, making him sit out a year depending on whatever happens. The owners.
Did they already make him sit out a whole year?
No, he sat out because he wanted a trade from Houston.
Oh, he did throw that fit?
He threw the fit. Okay. He sat out. So, but the league will punish him. But the league is ran by the owners.
Yeah.
So they are very, very hypocritical in what's going on because the way they are structuring this contract, it makes the punishment that Deshaun Watson could get the only punishment that means anything for these boys, and that's taking money away. He will be losing nothing. Like everything's guaranteed this first year, and it is a sham.
He could get charged.
The NFL
I doubt it, though.
Ridiculous. They mean nothing of what they say. They say they care about player safety. Here's an extra game. Here's an extra playoff team. Hey, we took away one preseason game. You've added a couple extra games for a few other teams. You took away nothing. You added because all you care about money. Deshaun Watson being on the roster, being a starting quarterback in the NFL makes you money. So let's protect Deshaun Watson. And that's what they did. They are protecting Deshaun Watson in case he gets in trouble or the league has their hands are tied and they have to suspend him. But don't worry, we're taking care of you. You won't lose that much money.
I think he should have just already been suspended because, I mean, what's the choice? Either A, he's going to, not saying get away with it because I really don't know what happened. But, I mean, with the allegations, I mean, most of that stuff when you have money just gets handled outside of court. Somebody gets
clip
paid.
That, send it to every owner in the NFL, send it to Roger Puppet Goodell. You guys are a sham and a mockery. And
I just think that's what I'm saying. Either he's going to get charged in court or he's going to go right back to playing football. That's not going to be
even if he does get punished and he can't play, the NFL, and yes, I am saying the NFL is protecting him because the NFL is ran by the owners.
I mean, if he gets charged, he's probably going to jail for a couple of years.
But his money's going to be safe, dude. His money
it's guaranteed money.
They have protected his money. Yeah. And I don't agree with it, but that's all I'm going to say. Clip it, send it out.
Yeah. I feel you on that. Yeah. I mean.
And this ain't the first time the NFL has done crap like this.
Well, yeah. I mean.
But this is the most blatant. This is the most blatant and obvious disregard of their own rules that they set up. Like, oh, crap. One of the rules that I have implemented, it's going to mess up with one of my players' money and make him unhappy. Hey, come sign with us. We're going to protect your money.
Yeah.
Okay. What if I have to sit out? We'll pay you barely over the minimum that you require. We'll throw everything else in the guaranteed money. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, it's pretty crazy.
It's
if I was an owner and he had those allegations, I would just stay away from the whole mess.
That's what I've been saying this whole time.
I mean,
hey, because they're already getting it from their fans.
And my thing is, do they already know do they know the behind the scenes? Like
I bet you these people charged? That are mad. I bet you all these people that are mad about the Deshaun Watson signing don't even know about how they're protecting his money. Yeah. I bet they don't even know that. They just heard Deshaun Watson sign, and they were so angry that they stopped right there and they went out to protest. Now, how mad do you think they are now when
How much was his guarantee?
380 or
Really?
38?
Damn.
I'd have to look
For how
at
many
it.
years?
It's 1 year.
He got $308 million for 1 year.
38.
I thought you said 308. So 38 million. I thought it was 42, but I think that was another cat. So 38 million for a 1 year contract.
It's somewhere.
Or guaranteed money, and then like
guaranteed.
if he sits out for a year, he only loses $1 million, right?
It's like a $1 million contract. So it's like, hey, fans, we're only
throwing money to him.
Oh yeah, and they're throwing him money that these
That's what I'm
fans
saying. With that kind of money, I doubt he'll ever see the inside of a courtroom, man.
Hell no, he won't. And it's the NFL protecting him. But
it's
the NFL who does all these campaigns.
You can't fight the NFL's lawyers.
Yeah, but the NFL runs all these campaigns against exactly what they're protecting players from what they're accused of doing. Whether they're guilty or not,
it trips me out that those kind of allegations happen so often. Because, like, I'm not saying that I'm not trying to be like rude right now, but like I figure they get plenty of opportunities with women. So like, why would you go do this?
Because you're told no, or you're given a little reluctance.
I mean, I guess you think you're just like so much the shit that you can just do that. Like, I don't know, man. It just seems like you were told as a young kid to keep your hands to yourself. Like, come on now, man.
Dude,
and if anything, you're in a situation like that, you're going to get looked at more. Because if you're that type of person, whether you're a millionaire or not, you're going to do that kind of stuff,
But I think having money does bring a sense of entitlement to people who necessarily wouldn't have had it if they actually, had to like put in effort.
It's just the amount of allegations. It's not one allegation. It's multiple allegations. And like, maybe one I could maybe, but like who really makes this stuff up? But there are people that do. Maybe it didn't happen, but like multiple, like, come on, yo, you did that. You totally did that.
But you get away with it once. You're exactly like what you're saying. You do it. You get away with it once. You're gonna do it again.
I'm saying like if there was only one allegation, but there's not. There's multiple women coming forward saying this happened. So that's like, you did it, dude.
No,
you know what I'm saying? They didn't all exactly. Shop and we're like, yo, let's all say this. Like,
it's like if there was one or two, okay, maybe somebody might be exaggerating, but when there's 22, I don't think 22 people are exaggerating the situation.
At that point, why wouldn't you be in jail?
Because
of money. I know why. But it's not right. That's what I'm saying. Because those people are affected the rest of their lives. And it's just like, come on, man.
And they're swept under the rug, man. And not to only mention that, they get to see on TV an organization structure that guy's contract that protects all the money he would lose by sitting out a game.
Yeah.
If he would have been getting paid $12 million a year or $13 million a year, like he would. Oh, he probably would demand more than that a year. I'm talking old money, ain't I?
He's already, I mean, that new money is going to be hitting his bank account after this is over.
No, I'm just saying, like, he's probably a $20 million a year quarterback.
Oh yeah, he's got multiple.
So my 14 mil a year is outdated.
Yeah.
So he's being protected by like $20 million a year because he's only getting paid a little over $1 million for this upcoming year. The rest of this year is the guaranteed money. So he already has it when he signed it. Now, if he has to sit out a game, his game check is based on a little over $1 million for the 17 games. And how do you feel?
A contract, like if he does go to jail, that's not a breach of contract.
But no, he's only going to. Guaranteed money's guaranteed money, bro.
I know, but I feel like there's got to be some kind of
No
clause, like if you don't play like at all, unless we
payback.
trade you, unless
No.
it's our fault that you didn't play. You know,
Dude, you really think that's happening with the NFLPA? You think the NFLPA is gonna let that happen?
no, I don't even. I don't even think he'll see an insider sell. I'm sure he's living his life of
the
luxury, not even worried
NFL,
about anything.
the NFL won't let it happen. What,
Mm,
like, because there's no football strike.
no, I mean
It's
they make too
because
much money. I get it. $38
it's
million
because the
is a
owners
drop
do
in the bucket
things like
to a
this.
billions of dollars of organizations
Yeah,
right there.
the NFL does things like this to
Mm.
protect players who are in legal trouble instead of helping out players who gave their brain and gave their body and gave their bones to build this game. They forget about them, but they protect the money of the playing now player. Won't do nothing for the guy before him, but they'll do every sneaky little trick in the book. And the only way we know it, the only reason we know about it is because of sport journalism and
Yeah.
that they release the stuff.
And that's what I'm saying. Some of that is even biased because you don't. I mean, I'm pretty sure it gets looked at and says, "All right, well, you can say this, but only so much of this." You know, unfortunately. And
The
I mean,
owners run the league, and this
I
is no this is no fact. I don't even
no,
understand how people think the commissioner runs the league.
no, he
The
doesn't.
commissioner is appointed by the effing owners.
That's why the NFL
Like,
can be a nonprofit organization because even though they make like $2 billion a year,
right. And what I always love is when they bring in this arbitrary investigative third party.
what does that even mean? It's like
That
your
means
buddy's
an
buddy
owner
is
hired.
like
It's a
like
buddy of
looking
an
at it.
owner.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
It's still somebody that the owners
The owner's
hire
brothers, cousins looking
to
at
do
it.
the investigation. It's not the
Yeah.
league. It's one of our owners'
Check
friends
movie.
who's getting a discount. Who's getting a discount on this
Yeah.
investigation anyway? It's pro bono. It's probably a write-off. So the league doesn't even pay these people for the investigation. Anyway, wow, that Cleveland Brown thing took us down, but
No, I just felt like, man.
oh
That's the
no, I
reason
went
people
on it
stop
too
watching.
because I went on a rant. I went on a
That's why
rant
people
about
don't like
this.
football is because of this kind of stuff. That's why it's hard. That's why we lost
Blatant
fans.
hypocrisy, man. Blatant hypocrisy from every controversy. But 8-9, do you think that was fair for what you saw out of the Browns this year?
I'm surprised they did that.
Oh, you think they kind of overachieved for you? Really?
Well, because
Of how bad everything
they
was.
were, man. It didn't seem like they were moving. They
It
stuck
did
with the
seem like
same
they won
game
less than
plan.
8 games.
They had the
right?
same players, so why wouldn't it work again? And I get it, there's more game tape, but it's just as much game tape last year.
Because last year they won 10. They won 10 games last year, right?
I think they got to the playoffs, but I mean they blew out that division. I thought last year, or maybe they made it as a wild card last year.
I think it was a wild card because I think
yeah.
Baltimore won the division, right?
I thought Pittsburgh did. Because didn't Jackson get hurt?
I thought Baltimore lost deep in the playoffs last year.
Oh, maybe. But if Pittsburgh's never had a losing season,
you can not have a losing season to make the playoffs. It is possible.
Okay. But no, I think that they were a better team last year. It's a little disheartening to see them not be that same team. They had the characters that were there too.
Dude, I thought this was going to be this was going to be the best division.
But some of the stuff that people do say about Mayfield is maybe it is like that because he felt like he thought he was the shit coming into the year, right? And he was throwing interceptions like crazy. Finally reeled it back in just a little bit by that time though.
I thought last year he made a big step.
Yeah.
From his rookie year.
I think he was living on cloud 9 walking into this year.
And I think all of us were on them too.
Yeah.
You're like, whoa,
I mean, I drafted
Like
Chubb like my first running back
Baker turned
this
it
year.
around. His attitude changed, but apparently
It did not.
it did not. Um,
Or his skill level increased, and so did his ego.
oh yeah, I guess we didn't expect or we didn't do this, but just real quick with Pittsburgh, 9-7. Do you expect this out of them
Man,
again
dude, I hate
next year,
saying
or
this
do you
because
expect them to be
I know your
worse?
mom's diehard, but man, dude, I'll be surprised. I mean, I think they're just breaking over 500 if anything. I think that honestly, I think they're looking at what we're playing 17 games this coming up here.
You're thinking 8-9?
Oh man, I was
Or
thinking
you gonna go
playing like
7 wins?
I was thinking more like
7 wins?
5 to 6.
Oh, because I was thinking probably 7 wins for Pittsburgh next year. Remember, they
Yeah,
play the Browns twice.
we can stick with 6. Yeah, but they might have Deshaun Watson. That's going to change everything if they have Deshaun Watson and everything falls through.
Oh, okay. I mean that's a
Because
fair
they're going
point.
to try to push this thing. They're going to try to do all
No,
the settlement during the
no, dude,
offseason.
no. That's a fair point because I know my Bills the prior year. If we could have tackled Deshaun Watson, we
Yeah,
would have advanced and we would have probably lost to Baltimore in that next. I think the next game was because I think Houston lost to Baltimore, and then Baltimore lost to Kansas City 2 years ago when Kansas City won the Super Bowl.
okay.
I think that's what happened. I didn't think we were good enough to beat Baltimore. We were a tackle away from beating Houston. Like
Really?
Deshaun Watson just spins out of a tackle. We have him, and then
I
he
mean, he was
spins.
that whole team.
Oh,
Because
he was
the year
amazing
that was the
running
year
the
JJ
ball,
Watt
bro.
was like, I'm sorry, we're wasting your career here.
He's a slippery little dude, man.
Yeah.
He is. He's a piece of crap, but he's a slippery little
That
dude.
was the last straw for him. He did not want to be on Houston anymore after that.
No, I thought because they weren't. He probably didn't feel they were backing him up.
No, I thought they weren't going to pay him enough, or they weren't like giving him the team he wanted, or he wanted more say so in the drafts. Right, is what it was, something
I
like
it,
that.
I'd have to think back.
Because he was
I
crying after that, like not physically crying, like just
right.
like blah blah blah. And then JJ Watt was like, "I'm sorry, we're wasting your career." And then like a year later, JJ Watt left Houston.
God,
Now
right?
Houston
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like,
How sorry? I'm so sorry. I'm going to leave and go play somewhere
yeah.
else. All right.
I mean,
What would you expect out of record wise? Kind of the same thing. 8-9.
if they have Watson, it probably shoot, man.
Think
I'd say
they can win 10
they could
games?
win 9 or 10. I
12?
was thinking.
Not 9 or 12.
I'd say
So
11 is probably the
borderline.
max because like who they have to throw to, really.
That's kind of where
I
I'm
mean, how
going
good? I mean,
here.
even a 5 yard 5 yard throws to
Because
Landry
Deshaun
all day.
Watson's running around, it isn't him running upfield that's dangerous. It's him running around, a receiver getting open, and
Yeah,
him hitting the guy downfield. Who, I'm sorry, but if you and me are running together for 10 seconds,
yeah.
but you're the offensive guy, I'm the defensive guy. You know everything to do within 10 seconds. You're gonna lose me.
No, you're right. What was the dude's name? I had him on my fantasy team. That's what I'm trying to look up right now. The number 2 running back on the Browns.
You had Hunt,
Hunt. That's what I
Chubb.
was thinking of. His game's going to skyrocket if Sean Watson's back on that team.
It all
I
depends
mean,
how
if
they do
he
the.
gets on the team.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot for this Cleveland Brown team, but it just seems like a disjointed organization, man.
Yeah, it seems
And
like they
it's
were
an
like living high, and then all of a
this
sudden
ain't
they realized
right. This
it was
ain't
a
the old
facade.
Cleveland Browns because the
Yeah,
old Cleveland Browns they are the Baltimore Ravens.
yeah,
The guy who owned the old Cleveland Browns, that's the Baltimore Ravens. This ain't the same this ain't the same Cleveland Browns. I mean, they're building a new thing here.
they are.
It, and
if they get Watson and they can draft a wide receiver, I think they stand a chance to, I know since he's on this, but definitely give him a run for their money.
Here's the question. I know how I feel about this. Better situation for Watson, Cleveland or what he had in Houston?
I'd say the Browns, man.
I think he underachieved in Houston, man.
I think he made that team so much better. You almost weren't even like Houston was pretty much non-existent since Arian Foster until he came.
He had Lamar Miller. He had Fuller the fourth. He had who was the down?
And Fuller like
who was the downfield? Who was the
or
downfield?
he couldn't pass the drug test.
Brandon Cooks.
Yeah. But not
he
really.
Had a
not
good
for that
tight
long.
End. He had a
not
good
for
tight
that
end.
long. Lamar Miller is not a good running back. I'm sorry, Brett. You're gonna have to come to this realization.
No, he didn't have Lamar Miller.
That's what you said. He had Lamar Miller.
Did I say Lamar Miller? I said
I thought David Johnson ran there for a little bit.
David Johnson was there. Yeah, good shout. Good shout.
Yeah.
I liked him for a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, man. He got hurt. I know what happened. He got hurt. That's
That's usually what
sad,
happens.
Man. He was about to be the breakout number one overall.
So if the Browns go 8-9,
he didn't have an elite. He didn't have a well-built team, even a very good team for that long. Because right when he got in there, I thought Fuller that first year he couldn't pass those drug tests, so he was out for a lot of the games. And then Cooks was coming to the end of his career.
Brandon Cooks is still playing.
I know, but it's to the end of his career.
You mean usefulness, but you're trying to be nice?
I mean, he's been in the game a long time, man. And he has been a good wide receiver. I'm not hating on the G. I'm not. It's just,
right. So anything to wrapping up the Browns on your end?
It's really just a wait and see. I think that
what would you do with what's left of free agency, the draft, and then the impending? You still have the free agency once the year begins, so you can prioritize needs. Like we've already established.
On, who's the quarterback?
Oh,
because I mean, could you get ODB back if Watson was your quarterback? I don't know. You have a better chance. There's no way in heck he's going back right now.
I think the ship has sailed in Cleveland.
I mean, if they'll back Deshaun, then they'll probably let him back.
Odell going back to Cleveland.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Why? If I'm Odell, I'm not going back to Cleveland.
Just depends.
No, I play for LA for less money. I don't think Cleveland.
Is a well-ran organization. Yes. But that's not the. What if LA doesn't sign him? Which I think they will, but if they don't,
I think if they weren't in contact, I think Odell would have signed with somebody else already.
Yeah, well.
But he is a vet, and vets tend to wait longer because they take vacation.
That money.
Because they take vacation and they go out and do stuff.
Yeah, I get that, but at the same time, it takes 2 seconds to make a phone call.
Well, actually, they don't even. Their agent does.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like they don't even handle it.
Yeah.
But maybe they're on vacation and the agent's like, hey, I'm not going to call him with this right now, but we have the offer. Because you don't hear, like, what receiver do you hear LA going after right now?
Well, they didn't have a
nobody. So I think they called Odell's agent, and he's like, hey, let me talk to Odell when he gets back.
Why do they even need another wide receiver, really?
They do.
Not necessarily. Now Woods back.
You always need depth. Woods got hurt last year. Woods could get hurt again.
You're right.
Hey, I'm a huge Woods fan. I love Woods, dude. I love Woods. Bills Mafia.
I guess try to draft your wide receiver. and see where the everything falls with the quarterback. Because if not, you're going to need a wide receiver anyway. You don't have one. You have two good running backs. I mean, your quarterback problem is going to get worked out one way or another, whether it's this year or next year. So
I can't wait till we do that because we're going to do a draft show before that. We'll have my brother back on too. We're going to talk draft and college football, dude. It's going to be a good. You're going to have to do a little bit more different research, not more different.
Yeah,
different research. Everybody, get in your college football, man. Know who your team could be getting, dude. And not just some stupid highlight film. They only show you the good stuff.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, all right, we got one more team. So, okay,
it's my least favorite team in the NFL.
Cleveland Browns, 8-9. If they did this again next year, would you be? Hey, not too
8-9.
bad.
I guess it just shows that you have good enough skill players. Because I mean, it feels like they're blaming on
them to hold it. Or do you expect them to be worse?
If things don't change, I don't think it's going to get worse.
I know you previed it with the depends who's quarterback. If Deshaun Watson's quarterback,
I think it'll get better.
8-9, you would think failure of the season.
Yeah, I think
you're expecting like 10 11 wins. See, that's a tough division, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to
the worst team in the NFL.
It's not the worst team in the NFL. This is the team I have my own little things with, but because the only thing I have against this team, really, I don't think John Harbaugh. I have lots of issues with John Harbaugh, but
doesn't everybody?
I have a lot of issues with his brother too. So I'm not a Harbaugh fan. He was just extended.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you saw that news. So John Harbaugh is still going to be the coach of the Baltimore Ravens for a while. I guess if you're a Raven fan,
you hate it.
You're happy.
I guess
you're happy with it. I mean, if there's any Raven fans, tell us.
I think Lamar Jackson's overrated, bro.
About. Well, here's the thing: there's still no Lamar deal.
I know. I just think because he's gotten it.
He might
got hurt that first year, and then I don't know.
Oh, Lamar's another quarterback. I'm like, my Bills have a problem with because we have trouble tackling quarterbacks.
Because he's a good runner, but he puts it all on himself.
We used to.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's go 2021, what we were expecting out of this Baltimore Raven team, where you were expecting them full-fledged pencil them in for the playoffs, right?
No, I'm telling you, I do not have faith. No,
I know you don't like them, but they always make the playoffs.
I don't have faith in them. Good. No, I think they're overrated. I think they've been overrated for years.
No, I think the exact same thing, bro. But they make the playoffs. They are
I guess the playoff contenders, but I didn't pencil them in to win this division.
They always make the playoffs. Baltimore's always in the playoffs.
Not necessarily, no.
Yeah.
No.
Stupid Joe Flacco, John Harbaugh got there. They've been a perennial.
They're better than they were then at the end of Flacco's career, but Flacco won the Super Bowl like right at the end.
All right, but anyway, coming 2021, what was your expectation? What was your expectation with?
I mean, I guess I always think they're one of those teams that is an upset team. I think they always have like a stingy defense. They're kind of an upset team, but their offense is never firing like it should. They've always it always seems to struggle in that aspect.
They're saved by the defense. The defense saves the day. They're defined by their defense.
And then they were supposed to have that good running back, but he didn't pan out this year. Huh?
Oh, this year.
This year. I forgot that cat's name.
Because Latavius Murray was years ago, right?
I think so.
No, he was Minnesota anyway, right?
No, he ended up on the Saints,
I got the wrong purple team, right? I think he was Minnesota.
And then
Latavius Murray was Minnesota.
And then I don't know if it's coaching, which I do know it's coaching, but
Dude, I have a good
And it's a faith, and like I think they need to step back and say that they need some more skill players around Jackson. If you're gonna sit there and you're gonna keep with him, because you can see
you
his
think their line's good
distress,
enough?
huh?
You think the line's good enough? You
I
don't think
think
the
the way
issue is
that
the
Jackson
line?
moves, I would, if you are going to stick with him, I'd get skill players and then worry about fixing the line and trades and free
Because
agent.
I think Baltimore has always been a perennial team where you have faith the line. They have a good line. If
I
you're
mean,
having an issue moving the ball, it's your skill players, not the line.
because they don't really have like name brand skill players. I know it doesn't take name brands to win, but at the same time, there's a reason they're name
Right.
brands.
But you can have name brand line and shit skill players and not be able to move the ball.
No, that's what I'm saying. They don't really have any name brand skill players.
Right. So it sometimes the reason because I know what we've talked about recently, moving the ball, we've referenced, hey, I've improved the line, I'd improved the line. But Baltimore's not one of them teams.
No, I dude,
Baltimore's not one of those teams.
it's skill
It's
players
like
that they're lacking.
I think the line's good enough. I don't think the line in
They
Baltimore
actually
is
make our
the
argument of
issue.
like repairing your defense and line like almost obsolete because they do have that and they can't move the ball. They got one good cat on there that's trying to do everything on offense.
Right. Well, it shows you there's not one solution.
Well, what
But I think it's better.
Andrews, right? Mark Andrews is their tight end.
Andrews. I think so, yeah, because I
And so
had him.
he was good. He wasn't as good this year as he was the year before.
Right.
Um, and
Because I had him this
personally,
year
I
because of
didn't watch
last
a lot
year.
of Ravens games this year, so I can't really like tell you with 100% accuracy. I can tell you that what I did watch, I wasn't thoroughly impressed. I felt like there was a lot of scrambling that was going on.
No, yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not impressed with Baltimore, but I have expectations
Well, you expect
of
them to
Baltimore
be a team that
because
at least going to put
of
up
the time
that.
I
Oh,
grew
and
up
Malcolm
in.
Brown is their number one. That's who it was,
Didn't Malcolm Brown?
right?
No, not Malcolm Brown. Uh, Never
Marquise
mind.
Brown.
I was
Marquise
thinking
Brown.
about somebody else because
Marquise
somebody,
Brown's their number one, I think.
yeah, no, because somebody announced retirement today in the NFL,
Oh, did they?
and it had that kind of you saw well let's finish up with the Baltimore talk. Well,
I mean, if I was them, I would buckle down, get you a running back so Cat doesn't have to run so much.
let me ask you something. Where are you prioritizing? Forget what you think about him. Where are you prioritizing nailing down this contract?
Oh, for Jackson?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you have anybody better that you can grab as far as where you finish. I mean, I don't even they didn't finish to get at least a top 10 draft pick. I think they finished higher than that. And this year, I've been led to believe that quarterbacks really aren't going to be too like. Not saying they're not impressive, but like not how it was in the years previous.
Yeah, because we've seen the backup quarterbacks come in and there's nothing.
You know,
Like
so I would say
they gotta mash this deal down. However we
now
feel
you're going to give
about
him a huge
Lamar,
contract. Probably not. Is he going to
right.
be offended by taking a smaller contract? Yes. But this is where you're going to have to say, are we going to
We're
stick with this guy for
restructuring
another 3 years,
because we gotta build
3 to
this team
5?
up, dude.
You know,
Exactly. We gotta chase the Bengals.
so
So
like,
like
yeah,
we gotta do something to help us out.
yeah,
Exactly.
definitely.
Right. I'm
So
not saying prioritize it, get it done, as in give him whatever the F he wants. I'm saying sit down, negotiate with him, talk
it's
to him,
probably already been negotiated.
pitch back and forth. This is probably what they're working on.
It's probably the
Because
thing
they
is what
still
he
have to
thinks his
sell Lamar.
value is
That's the
worth
thing. They got
and
to
what they
sell
can actually
Lamar.
pay him.
Right. And also they have to sell Lamar on the build.
Yeah, that means
Because
you're
you're
gonna have to
not
give
only
him some
trying,
say.
right, you're not only trying to work out numbers,
If he's going to be
I
the
think there
franchise
is
quarterback,
something.
which kind of feels like what they've been saying the last couple of years, that this guy's going to be our franchise quarterback.
But why do we feel like Baltimore still needs to pitch him, or else he'll
I think
sign
they're
with
both
somebody
pitching
else?
each other because he hasn't really lived up to his expectation either,
Right.
and injuries.
But do you what do you feel the chances that it's more Lamar?
Holding back.
Yeah.
I
Or
mean,
do you
where would he
think
go?
it's
Who's he waiting for? Because he's good.
well,
I'm not saying he's bad. There's only 32 starting quarterbacks, and I don't think he's even in the lower half. He's in the top 10,
but
if not
but
top
all those
5,
teams
maybe
around
maybe top 7.
Baltimore, they already have their quarterback, right? Is there any team around Baltimore looking for a quarterback?
I mean, the teams are really looking for quarterback. I mean, what Pittsburgh?
Would you rather be in Baltimore or Pittsburgh?
I'd rather be in Pittsburgh, but as
Do you
far as
think
the
Pittsburgh
scheme
are even
setup, the
thinking
scheme
about
setup is set up
Lamar?
better for him in Baltimore than it is in Pittsburgh.
Right, that's the thing.
I think. I think
if Lamar moves, it's a worse situation than Baltimore, probably.
Yeah, definitely. He's not going to move up. I don't think
I
he's
mean, we
shown
know
enough.
Pittsburgh's looking for a quarterback.
We don't.
They don't have their quarterback.
No.
He is not. He is not their quarterback.
No, he was like their backup quarterback forever, and then finally they're like, okay, fine, we don't have anybody else.
But I don't think Lamar's looking to Pittsburgh, and I don't think Pittsburgh's looking to Lamar.
No, that's what I'm saying. Trading up is hard to do unless
I've seen weirder shit happen.
You're right.
But
they're like
a Baltimore
like,
Raven going to a
arch enemies,
Steeler,
bro.
it would.
It's like Yoda and Darth Vader, man. They don't hang out with the
Yeah.
same crews, bro.
Yeah, no, that'd be totally. No.
But I don't know if he's hesitant and he's waiting. But I think as far as game tape shows, I think like he is a good, like I said, top 7. But I don't think he showed enough to move up in a team. Like he's not going to get a better team. Moving down would be stupid at this point in your career.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So, like, if you're Lamar, what are you doing?
Trying to hold out so you can get a couple extra.
Because I think the teams above you aren't looking for a quarterback. They're not a quarterback away, or at least they don't feel they are. Because honestly, if you're in that situation, it's probably not your quarterback.
Yeah.
Like if you're right there. But if we just change our quarterback, we'll win.
Nah.
No. It's probably something else.
And I think with the players that they've picked up, like they're trying to build a team around him. I mean, if it is him, maybe he's just trying to feel comfortable, like he's holding out because he wants to know that like he's going to get say. Because after a certain amount of time and money, you want more about say in the team that they're trying to build.
Yeah, just ask Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, took him 10+ years.
Whose team isn't even owned by a board of people; it's owned by a community. So, but.
And you threw away their potential to win the Super Bowl last year, and then they still gave you that.
A legend. The optics aren't good.
They're really not.
Like all of a sudden, you had a horror. You had like.
And the look on his face was like, "I'm just chilling." Yo.
I don't even fucking care.
Like whatever, yo. I get it. You have to look cool, like you're Mr. Cool of football. But
like, I'm not saying he threw it, but he didn't look
totally
bothered.
Game,
he didn't look bothered by
that.
it at all.
You telling me you went
like,
off
he was
all
like,
year?
"Oh, I'm gonna throw it over here." Oh, damn it! All right, let's try it again. This way, though.
I throw 10. I throw 10 points against San Francisco.
How don't you score a touchdown? How don't you score?
I mean, maybe that's why Devontae Adams left. I mean, yeah, he got paid.
That is. Paid. I'd rather play for Green Bay than play for Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's boosting their team. Their team's going to be better now, but maybe Derek Carr can finally throw the freaking ball.
Oh my God. Like, so no, you're right. You're right. Because he chose Derek Carr over Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Maybe he was like, dude, what did you do? Like, we could have easily won the Super Bowl this year.
So maybe. I don't want
And,
Derek.
I mean, Devontae Adams, this is like, he's been in the league for coming up on close to a decade, right?
He's got to be getting close to retiring, man.
That's what I'm saying. He just got a contract for like $142 million.
I watched him play national title games in college.
Yeah,
man.
that's what I'm saying, man.
And now I'm like,
this is probably his last contract, unless he somehow helps them win the Super Bowl.
I hate watching college games of Devontae Adams because they show the year down in the bottom corner, and you're like, I remember watching this live,
right?
Like it was yesterday. Well, not really, because I have a memory issue.
But no, man, I think as far as the Baltimore Ravens are concerned, I think they do.
What would be your expectation out of next year? They went 8-9 this year. They were.
That's what I'm saying. They underachieved. Like people were really
5-4 at home.
A lot more.
3-5 on the road.
At least last year they made it to the playoffs.
That's not a good team.
No, that looks like a team that's falling apart.
But it's hard to say because you're 2 games away from you're 2 games out of a playoff spot.
Yeah, and you had an extra game too.
Well, no, you're 2 games away.
No, I know.
Like if you won 2 more games, the winner won 2 less. You make the playoffs, not them.
But
Baltimore shouldn't be 2 games out.
Oh,
especially when this year there was an extra playoff spot.
Yeah.
And you're still 2 games out from making the playoffs with an extra playoff spot. Yeah. So 8-9. If they go 8-9 again next year,
you gotta let go of Jackson after that.
Is that what you would expect?
You gotta move on.
Do you kind of expect 8-9 out of them next year? Let's say they get the Lamar Jackson deal done. Lamar Jackson
and they draft well or fix their running back situation based on a team just like right now. Like if they start the season right now off the team that they had last year.
Well, you expect them to make their improvements and blah 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 based on what you expect everybody else to do.
Well, they're going to fall in the division, I think.
How?
Because I think
they finished last.
Oh, did they?
There is no falling.
They did better. The Browns did better than them?
No, they both finished 8-9.
Yeah, that's what I thought. They both finished 8. What was their division records, though?
That was the tiebreaker. Baltimore went 1-5 in the division.
Really?
Cleveland went 3-3.
Wow. 1-5?
They went 1-5 in the division. It's not a player issue, is it?
No, man. It's
you got to win the right games.
I mean, that's really what it comes down to. It's like 8 games.
I mean, like every game is important, but no, it's not.
Not really. Yeah, your division games are the most important, unfortunately. I mean, not unfortunately. That's why it's based like that.
Did you think Baltimore was better than Cleveland?
No.
From what you saw out of this year?
I don't think. Maybe it's just because Mayfield can't scramble like Lamar. But
you would expect Baltimore to finish ahead of Cleveland.
No, I mean, not me personally.
Well, when you take
I'm telling you, I feel like Baltimore put too much emphasis on trying to keep Jackson. He's not going to win them that Super Bowl like they think he is.
Right. I've been in football a lot longer than you have.
Oh, okay.
No. I'm just saying you have a different perception of franchises than I do. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
It's like I would expect Baltimore to be ahead of Cleveland. I would expect Baltimore to be ahead of Cincinnati. I expect Baltimore and Pittsburgh to be heavyweight championship.
2022.
No, you don't even have to go that far. That this happened after The 90s, because
After Steve Smith
the
Sr. left,
90s
the
were
Baltimore
all
fell
Bills.
apart.
The 90s were Bills. Well, half the 90s.
Of the Bills almost winning.
Well, AFC dominance.
Okay.
Well, don't do this. Bull crap.
Oh man,
Bull
dude.
crap.
No man, I'm not convinced that the
But
Ravens
that's what I would expect. I would expect coming into this year. I think I was like Pittsburgh, Baltimore 1-2, but Pittsburgh edge them out, and then I still expected Cleveland and Cincinnati like to win 9 games.
I did think
Like
it was
I
between,
expected this to
the
be a
Browns.
really, really, really good division.
I thought it was going to be the Browns and Pittsburgh.
I did not think the worst team in the playoffs would have come from the AFC North.
Because they are the worst team in football. Like I said, I prefaced that.
The worst team in the playoffs.
Oh, I'm talking about in football. I'm just giving them a hard time. I think that they need to.
Baltimore's not the worst team.
I know they're not the actual worst team. I just think that they put too much faith in people that aren't producing for them, and they do it time and time again. So it's kind of hard to have faith in them if they don't really. I get it. It's cool having faith in your organization, but at some point you got to say, hey.
Oh, no, I hate Baltimore, but I have an expectation.
But it hasn't been the expectation people thought that Baltimore should be at for 3 years now. Bless you.
Embarrassing.
Better?
Should have turned the mic or the camera off.
But like I was saying, doesn't matter. Bills suck. What?
My Bills have nothing
to do
with the AFC.
I was talking about the Ravens, dude.
You said Bills. Okay. Well,
no, man, I just
Ravens.
Feel like they haven't performed in like 3 years, and so you really got as the GM or the owner needs to look at it and be like, "Yo, this is not working out." And if you do stick with Jackson, like you're pretty much stuck with him for the next 3 to 5 years, at least enough guaranteed money.
No, you are. Yeah.
He's going to be there for at least another 2 years, or you sell him high during the off season and do it. And
nothing tells me that
they won't do that.
Baltimore,
it's too scary to do something like that.
Looking to move them. I think they're negotiating.
I just don't think they're going to get anywhere. They're going to just stay right where they are. But I guess like when you're last in the division.
Or do you think it's brilliant that if you wait till the season starts, you move Jackson during the in-season free agency, you'll get more for him?
I mean, maybe. I just think that you're going to get what you're going to get from, I think, the same regardless. I mean, you think...
Oh, no, but...
You want to wait and see if people like draft. Like maybe you can draft somebody that you're happy with.
Yeah, do you think if you kept with Jackson, right, and you went into next year with Jackson as a trade commodity in the season next year will be higher than if you tried to deal him right now?
I think right now,
because people still have faith in the draft and the free agency,
but you can get a draft pick
because once you get into the season, people are more on the hot seat, so there'll be more. Oh fuck, Lamar Jackson, he might be able to save our season.
I mean,
there will be a team out there that would think that Lamar Jackson would save their season. And maybe Baltimore
I think
We'll
it's going
wait
to be
till
more
then,
reserved thought
and they
process
could
when it
get
comes to Jackson
more
moving
for him.
forward. I
Because I
think we
don't think they're looking to move him.
I think we've seen what he can do, and yes, he has potential to make it, but it just seems he hits that brick wall like right around playoffs.
Do you think John Harbaugh extending his
That was
contract?
the stupidest thing they could have ever done.
Do you think that does help in them negotiating with Lamar Jackson? It makes Lamar Jackson more likely to sign with Baltimore.
Did they get along? I mean, it doesn't seem to
They've been
me.
together for a long time,
Doesn't mean
man.
that you really get along. I mean, maybe stuff happens,
I've never heard anything
but
out
you're
of
right. They don't look like
either
they have
one
any
of
beef.
them against the other. It
And
feels
so
like
you
they
probably
like
would.
working
You
together.
probably would stay. Maybe he was waiting for that. But like I said, if you have the same elements
Because
and you
coach does
expect
mean a
something
lot
different, I mean,
when you're a player.
what's that?
Coach does mean a lot when you're a
No,
player.
you're right. You're right. But
Because a lot of players commit to a school in college based on the coach
but that's different.
that's recruiting them.
I
I know
think
once you get into the pros, you have a lot more voices in your ears because now you have agents and now you have sponsorship representatives that you are constantly talking with. So you have all this stuff in your ear. So it would be a nice constant to have your coach be the.
I mean, as far as their chemistry, they probably will stick together. I just don't think it's going to help the Ravens.
Oh, right, but do you?
And if
do
he's
you
staying,
think
if he
though?
gets
But do
signed to
you
a
think?
contract, they're not going to try to trade him at the beginning of the season.
No, right.
If he
Well, it all
starts as a
depends.
Raven,
It all
he will
depends who
play
knows.
multiple more seasons as a Raven.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I guess what we're getting at here is the Ravens have been negotiating with Lamar Jackson. There's been nothing, but now there's news. The news hit. John Harbaugh's re-signed. John Harbaugh's going to stay here. Is that going to keep Lamar?
I mean, I don't see him.
I think it does.
I think it helps
I think
him
Lamar
because it probably does
help.
swing a little bit
Okay,
more.
help. That right. It's not
If he was on the fence, maybe that'll tilt him towards. I could see that. Yes.
What do you think Lamar Jackson is under center for the Baltimore Ravens next year?
I don't see why not, unless they get some like crazy good deal with draft picks this year. Which, I mean, if this was the year to do, I'd believe in it. It would be this year. But nah, I think he will be a Raven again.
I really do too, man.
I don't think
Because
he's going anywhere.
I haven't heard anything, and then B, is there you know you're not going to Denver because
Who?
Denver might have probably been your best chance.
Oh, for Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Denver's more than a quarterback away, but
Most teams that are going to try to get a quarterback are more than a quarterback away.
Because even look, Denver last year, they had a positive point differential.
Okay.
And they finished last in their division.
Yeah, they've really been struggling, man. After that Peyton Manning Super Bowl win, it's been a new quarterback every year.
But they had a plus point differential.
Okay.
They scored more points than their defense allowed. And they still went 7-10. So they're definitely more than just a quarterback away. Right? So if you're Lamar, you're not going to no Denver. because you need more than a quarterback. I mean, an attractive option. I hate to say this, it would be Dallas. But
man.
I don't think Dallas is looking for a quarterback.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to sway away from Prescott.
I don't think they're, and it's going to be to their
One thing I can
detriment.
say about Dallas is they do stick to their players.
No, but
They
it's
do.
dumb. They gave DeMarcus Ware too much money.
They're dumb?
The Dallas Cowboys are dumb.
Well, at least they we're better than the Ravens. I know you're not even a Ravens fan. I'm not a Cowboys fan, so I really don't care. But I think they're better. They're better team than the Ravens.
The Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah. The Dallas Cowboys probably played the best they've played in like a decade, if not more.
No, I still think I have a better chance to win the Super Bowl with the Ravens than the Cowboys.
No way. Did we watch the same two teams this last season?
They went 12-5 and bowed out.
Okay.
In the playoffs.
At least we made it to the playoffs, or they made it to the playoffs.
Cool. Out, didn't make it.
I mean, out's out. You're right, but
we're on the same fishing trip. We could both make the same fishing trip.
Yeah, but you stayed on the land and I got in the boat.
No.
Yeah.
We're on the same fishing trip.
What? No. The Cowboys are the better team than the Ravens. No?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No. Not at all.
I think statistically, if we don't want to do opinion based, they were.
All right.
I'm gonna try to look it up real quick.
Scored more points, a lot more points.
Oh yeah.
Gave up a lot more points. Had a bigger point differential. Jerry Jones is so trash, though. I'm sorry. Five. Okay.
That was
okay. Fine. There. You got it. You got what you wanted. You got what you wanted. You got what you wanted. You got what you wanted.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, man. Like, I don't know, man.
Jerry Jones is a horrible owner.
You're right.
Horrible.
But
if he would have kept the coach that he had, they could have done a lot more. But Jerry Jones just couldn't stand somebody getting more credit than him.
Why do you keep doing that? Nobody cares about Miami.
Because Jimmy Johnson was the coach of the
Dallas Cowboys. Forever ago, bro.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Cowboy fan lives on.
Yeah, you're right.
From forever ago.
Yeah.
And that's what Jerry Jones lives on.
We were all like knee-high to a grasshopper over there.
And that's everything Jerry Jones lives on.
Jerry Jones himself is still living off of that, bro.
Dude, he tells everybody, hey, if a GM had the record you had, would you keep him employed? He'd no, I'd fire him.
No, yeah, they definitely he needs to step back, but he never is.
Right. Okay, but anyway, we're not talking about that. 8-9. What do you expect out of Baltimore next year? 8-9, about the same.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be lackluster.
Not much better.
Say 7. I think 6 is too low for them. 7 or 8, yeah, I could say that.
Because they have
10 at the most, but they're not going to get 10. I'd say 9, actually. 9 at the most.
I wish I could bring up the schedule right quick to see who the AFC North was playing.
That does play into a little bit, too, who you play. But just to say, I don't
expect much better. I mean, I do. Because of what I think of Baltimore Ravens, Ray Lewis. Here's this again. Ray Lewis back there in that backfield. That defense was some of the best defense you've seen in the NFL outside my Buffalo Bills defense, man. Really good defenses.
I understand that, Brett. But we don't live 10 years ago.
Yeah.
We live now. in 2022 where the Ravens suck.
Well, they don't suck. That's being mean. I mean, I do harp on John Harbaugh a lot.
Nah, yeah, it
I
definitely is.
think every week when we wrapped up the week, I think when we went to the Ravens, like I talked about some John Harbaugh coaching decision that I didn't like and I disagreed with, and I said I don't advocate anybody losing their job, but this man should not have a job as a head coach in the NFL.
And he got it extended. What do we know? What do we know?
Oh man!
They were like, you know, that
Right.
guy keeps talking bad about Harbaugh. You know what? Let's re-sign that catch to spite him.
Hey, John, we're extending you. We're in contract negotiations. Well, no, we weren't. But that fucker Brent,
He keeps talking, man.
we're resigning you, man, because it seems like every day you have a job as a head coach in the NFL makes his day a little bit bitter.
Right? Yeah. Shoot, man.
But it doesn't because it gives me content.
No, that's true. Yeah, I don't think there's much of an improvement that's going to happen over the offseason
for Baltimore.
No, I don't think it's gonna. I don't think they're gonna do anything.
So, do you expect the same order coming out of the AFC North?
It's probably gonna be
Cincy, Pittsburgh,
Cincy.
Cleveland, Baltimore.
I think Cleveland and Pittsburgh will be switched.
Whoa.
Well, Pittsburgh.
Do you think Cleveland makes the playoff though?
Is it maybe a wild card, but not as the division winner?
Well, duh, because you said Cincy still.
Yeah,
wins it.
I mean, it'll
but
be close.
Do you think?
I think if they can win 10 games,
enough.
then yeah. If they can win 10 games, then they'll probably make it to the playoffs. I think 11. I think 11 for sure will get you in the playoffs. But
because I think next year, I think there's a chance the Dolphins make it, and that takes out your second team from the AFC North.
Okay.
I think Dolphins over Cleveland or Pittsburgh next year.
Nah,
the way things ended,
yeah,
it looked like I'm not advocating for another team from the AFC East, but to be the division winner from the best division in football, I know if you don't win, it don't mean jack shit anyway. So who the fuck cares? But
that division,
it's a cool caveat that hey, you won the best division in football. I mean, you didn't win, but hey,
yeah,
hey,
that's true.
Well, I mean, I think that's all we have to wrap up, right?
Yes, sir. You gotta sneeze and cough right at the very end. But I appreciate you as always, Britt.
One thing I do want to get a quick comment and word on. We really haven't given anything for new stuff going on, right? We're going to save
Talking about the overtime rule?
No.
Oh.
No, I don't give a
changed it.
Forget about that rule.
I knew you were going to be mad about that one.
That rule doesn't
I knew you were going to be mad about that one, dude.
To me because we shouldn't even need that rule because we should have covered up one of the best tight ends in football.
Yeah, y'all
wide open, and we want to cry.
Y'all were too hyped.
We want to cry about an overtime rule when the real problem didn't even happen in overtime.
Yeah.
Overtime is a luxury. Overtime is a luxury. Overtime is a yacht. So everybody who doesn't have a yacht cries, and now all of a sudden everybody gets a yacht. Having a yacht doesn't mean shit. Okay, but anyway, no. What I want to talk about is a coaching retirement today that was announced. Bruce Arians.
Oh, really?
Retired.
Huh.
And I guess he's going working in the front office of Tampa Bay.
Really?
Yeah.
Even with Tom coming back, he didn't give it one more year.
The
Weird.
Bruce is
Maybe
I,
he's like,
I,
yeah, I'm
I
gonna do
would say no. Bruce Arians, what a coach! Hall of Fame coach? No, not at all.
Hey, he got his
Not.
ring, but
But I want to tell you something about Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians has a beautiful football mind. The guy knows the game. The guy loves the game, and I mean, anybody who dedicates their life to teaching and growing men, because that's a whole different challenge in itself,
oh yeah,
is to teach men. Because, and it's not to take anything away from great high school coaches and great college coaches, but to deal with a man, because all of a sudden, once you reach being a man, having somebody else tell you something, it affects you different. It rubs you a little bit different because you're like, dude, I am a grown ass man and you are talking to me like this.
true that.
Like,
Yeah.
I can't believe that. So, how pro football is a sport, I don't know. Because how there's all these players deal with is men yelling at them. No, your pride is more than money, dude.
I mean, by
People
that time,
pride.
dude, you know how many coaching moves that by that point.
Right, but you kind of
I
know
get what
where
you're
I'm going
saying.
with
I
this.
do get what you're saying.
But Bruce Arians it always seemed like he ran a controlled environment. Like his days in Arizona, I understand how Arizona fan would rank him because he's not going to get you to where you want to be, because you need slightly more of a hard ass. You know,
Mhm.
he was an authoritarian, but like he was still a player's coach. Um, and he's called it quits now. He's not going to be coaching football no
Oh yeah,
more.
like you said, he's moving in the front office. You never really call it quits.
Right, he's not calling it quits. You're right. You're right. He's done with
He's
coaching.
stepping
He's
down. Yeah,
done coaching. What
he wants to be able to make the plays without getting yelled at when it doesn't work.
right? Because you know him more with Arizona, of course, and I know you've had even when you were just paying attention because of fantasy, you had players from Arizona, like Bruce Arians is a coach for one of the players you have on your team. Like, like, hey, I could, if this guy is allowed to play for Bruce Arians, like, hey, he can't be a bad bloke.
No, I just thought it was
what was
cool
your
because
thought
when
about
Tom,
Bruce Arians being a head coach?
whenever I always thought it was cool because his players would say that, and he even said himself, but that he would sit there and like actually like listen to him instead of just like tell him what to do. And so I heard him say one time that he learns just as much about like football from his players as they learn from them.
Right,
And it
and
kind of gave me
when
the
some people
idea
say
that
that it's bullshit, but like when you heard it from him,
nah, yeah, it
you
gave me a
kind of
different
thought that was a
perspective because
genuine
there's a
comment.
difference between a boss and a leader, and I think he was a leader, not a boss. So I think that's the best
Right.
way to say it.
No, dude, I totally agree with that, man. I'm a huge Bruce Arians fan. I mean, of course, I liked him a lot better when he wasn't coaching one of the most
Gifted football
hated
players
men,
ever,
hated men
and
in my world,
he's back. He couldn't leave.
but yeah. Yeah, but I know we haven't been covering the current news every show we do. Everybody who's watching and listening, um, we haven't been covering all news. We're going to save that for a little bit later because it's a big off season. But Bruce Arians retiring, I thought that was something. It would be like if Mike Tomlin retired. Like
It's a weird timing.
There's no way we would
Yeah.
be able to not mention it. We've left out a lot of news, a lot of news, but that's just because I need a lot of content before the season starts again.
Only have 22 weeks after this week.
But Donnie, my friend, dude,
Thank you.
Thank you once again for
It's always
joining
fun, Brett.
me here. Next
Have a
week,
good one.
I think just go counterclockwise.
Word.
Well, we're going to do the AFC West. Do the AFC West next year?
Or next
year?
week?
Next week.
I mean, I guess we will be doing one next year, but
we definitely will. Probably not at this exact same time and day,
but yeah.
AFC West next week. Come join. I'll send out the notifications a lot earlier than I did this week.
Yeah, I didn't even know if we were having a show there.
Yeah, you do. You always know. Stop it. But I want to thank everybody for joining me. Donnie, my friend, thank you for coming.
Have a good one. Thanks, Brett.
Y'all take care. Have a good, safe, blessed week. We'll see y'all next week here on FTB Sports Through the Table.